my god, it's Troll 2.
You're late.
I'm sorry we had a small mishap.
Here are the keys.
Here are ours.
Have a nice stay in Mill Pond.
And you in our city.
Still telling the same story, Josh?
Powers of evil are very strong here. I must leave.
Goblins don't exist. Goblins don't exist.
And remember,
They're eating her! Well, they're going to eat me!
so dizzy.
Kids with a sweet tooth like yours love ice cream.
Delicious. And purified.
I order you for the sacred power of the magic stones. No!
We're going to expand our weekly video segment to take you into the back shelves of your local video store. Back where it says horror videos and where kids are devouring some awful films that we call the video nasties.
Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have to break free from this culture of mechanical reproductions and the thick incrustations dying on the surface.
From the prime time, bitch!
The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, come with me and be immortal.
We have such sights to show you.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Hello, horror hounds, and welcome to the It Slays podcast. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
And it's an actual troll, Mike.
And I'm your special guest turned co-host, Colton.
And we are here on this lovely day. It's September 29th, but you guys are getting this in October. We're trying to be the opposite of procrastination. I don't know what that is, because I've never been it in my life.
Absolutely
Efficient, proactive.
Efficient.
All the things that I do not associate with any of us, anyway.
So as you heard from the blurb at the beginning, we are doing 1990s Troll 2. What a way to kick off OCTHORRORFEST.
The only way to kick off OCTHORRORFEST.
Period.
Directed by Drake Floyd, or Claudio Fragasso, or however Italian you want to say that name. I like Drake Floyd. It sounds like the guy from Uncharted.
Yeah, it's close.
I can't
Yeah,
believe
Nathan
that you're
Drake.
not taking this opportunity to like roll all your R's and
I wish I could roll my R's.
Spice it up.
Class up the joint, yeah.
So let's get to the awkwardness that is that intro. And you're like, who is this new co-host? Even though if we've been listening to all the other episodes, he's been in like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, like formally, like 3 full episodes. No, I don't know, like 2 or 3 movie house horror episodes within the last month. So I would expect most listeners are sick of hearing from me by now.
Well, We have a treat for them.
We don't like to comment on our listeners' intelligence, but if you haven't figured it out yet, Colton is a permanent fixture now.
Yay!
Woo!
As we record this, I haven't put up Dare Bunker yet. It will be going up before this. So Colton hasn't listened to it and doesn't know that Exilia did explain that she's dropping down to one episode a month, but we did not say what was going to be the change.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, this is the surprise.
Yeah, so I guess with Exilia taking like a little bit of a step back, I'm coming in to kind of like fulfill the other episode a month, I guess. I mean, other than for October, of course, where I feel like, I don't know, most of us are recording something almost every week. But yeah, most months going forward, I'll be on one episode-ish a month. We'll see how things go, depending on if we want to continue doing the Movie House Horror series or what. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here and happy to be part of the team.
We are very excited. Mike's big smile tells me he's excited.
No, it's very exciting. I'm into it. Obviously, I have conscripted you against your will before, so I'm happy that I didn't have.
Oh my god!
I'm very happy that I didn't have to twist your fucking arm for this.
Well, I'm happy you guys are still extending the offer after I chose Troll 2 for this evening. So.
I mean, if people don't know what the process...
We deserve it. Honestly, after the Leprechaun thing, we deserve it.
Yeah, we probably do. And if people are interested in the behind the scenes, there's basically a big process where we had a lot of ads and a lot of papers. We were looking for someone, and I guess Colton was just the only one dumb enough to apply for the job.
I was like the third or fourth choice. Yeah, very intensive interview process.
Our first choice was the guy that played the Reverend in this movie, but he was unavailable.
Oh yeah, that guy's excellent. Great eyebrows.
Amazing eyebrows.
Yes, we're big fans of the brows.
Let's get right into it. Let's start with that delicious bio, Colton. This was your choice, so hit us.
Yeah, so Troll 2, it's about a vacationing family discovers that the entire town they're visiting is inhabited by goblins, disguised as humans who plan to eat them. But basically, the most important thing to know about Troll 2 is that there's actually no trolls in the movie. It's all goblins. But, it's just... I think it's a blast, but yeah, that's what it's basically about.
Well, before we get into, the praise, the unanimous slays, all that kind of
course,
stuff.
Yes.
Let's talk about our first experiences with this film. Is this your first time seeing it? Or even your experiences with the Troll franchise? I think it's safe to say this is one of the heftier franchises in the biz.
Oh, of course. This is a pillar of iconic horror franchises.
Well, let's start with you, Mike.
Well, believe it or not, despite my vast knowledge of them, I have never before watching it for this podcast seen a Troll movie. So this is my first. My cherries popped. It exploded. It's made a mess everywhere.
It was green, I'm sure.
All over. My green cherry is all over the wall. We're currently making juice out of it. It's good to go, and we're gonna feed it to somebody, and then it's gonna bleed out of their skull, and it's gonna be a whole thing, and it's
Yikes.
Sort of gonna be this recycled. So I literally have never even seen 1 minute of a Troll movie before this. I don't know how. In all my years of watching bad movies, I somehow managed to avoid it. So this was a real treat. I don't know about y'all.
Well, I'll go next because, like Mike, I have zero experience. I've never seen the first one. I was very surprised to know that I think there's 4 or 5 of them when I was looking up on Wikipedia. I'm sure they just get better and better as they go. But yeah, this is kind of a notorious bad movie.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of been on my list. A funny anecdote is I noticed Colton on Twitter had posted about a scary scene from a film. And when I saw you post the screenshot from this, I didn't know it was from this.
No.
And I was like, oh man, whatever that is looks really cool. Like something I'd really be into. I was like, that's kind of creepy.
It's very spooky.
And then I realized it's from this. It made it that much better. I was like,
yeah,
great contribution. But yeah, I have zero experience with this. How about you, Colton?
Yeah, I first heard of this whenever the documentary Best Worst Movie came out. So because it's a documentary from Joshua in the movie, so he makes a documentary about Troll 2, and it was awesome. Like I watched it and I loved the documentary. And this was probably back in like, I feel it was like maybe 2013, 2014 when I watched it.
Yeah.
And literally when I finished watching the documentary with my roommate at the time, we just were like, we got to actually watch Troll 2. So we threw it on. We like absolutely like were dying laughing the entire movie. And it's just kind of become a little bit of like a meme in my friend group. Like we've all seen Troll 2. A friend of mine, he's been watching Troll 2 ever since he's been like a kid. He's seen it like dozens and dozens and dozens of times. So yeah, no, I've seen Troll 2 many a time. Last of which was last night with like a group of 4 or 5 of us in Discord.
Nice.
So yes, I've seen it before. Haven't seen any of the other movies, though. From what I understand, Troll 1 and 3 have absolutely nothing to do with this movie. The first movie, the main character's name is Harry Potter, which is a pretty interesting little detail. But no, I haven't seen anything else but this one.
I was going to say, like, having watched this now, I could really see this, like, being a movie that someone would see, like, from renting at a video store and like having some sort of nostalgia, because I'm surprised I've never seen this. This is something I would totally rent like when I was a kid.
Yeah, especially like with the terrible artwork on the front of like the VHS and stuff. Like it just looks god awful. It's something that you would definitely just pluck off a shelf, right?
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I found to be like just burned in my memory of this, even though I'd never actually seen any of them. It was that the various ones in it, of course, especially the first couple, were like video store shelf staples. No matter where you went, some like gas station out in the middle of nowhere, if they had like a wall with like rentals on it, you would see one of the Troll movies there, right? So it was like one of those things that was always there beckoning, but just somehow was always out of reach.
Well, I mean, I think we should get right into it. Favorite scene, and I want to go first because I'm really scared one of you guys are gonna steal.
All right, go for it.
My favorite scene. So my favorite scene is we're set in the woods, and then like a ballad sung by Justin Timberlake, and it's really amazing. and then I was like, oh wait a second, I've got the wrong Troll movie on.
God, I was wondering where that was going.
Bad joke. No, this is gonna be funny. Is my favorite scene in this movie is from My Antidote, that car scene where they do the turnaround. I thought that was pretty good. I really enjoyed the makeup of the troll that for some reason doesn't look like anyone else.
That's my favorite too. It's my picture on Discord. I love that troll.
Oh my god! His eyes just like bulging out. It's kind of weird because he kind of looks like shrunken heads from like Goosebumps or something, but
Absolutely.
Just like elongated. So basically any scene with that guy in it is my all-time favorite scene. This whole movie might be my favorite scene. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Like, I have a hard time picking just one scene because when I go over it, like this is the type of movie when I watch it that I find every single scene interesting because I'm either like being like, why are they acting that way? Or why is this written this way? Or like, what the hell is going on with this corn on the cob? Like, I have all these questions.
Oh my god!
The entire time
Thank you.
As I'm watching it. I would probably go with almost any scene with Grandpa Seth as my favorite because he's just always like smiling. And at the end, when he says something along the lines of like, "Here, take this," and I'm gonna use this fire extinguisher to cause some confusion, and he hands Joshua a Molotov cocktail, I like lose it every single time because he's just like, first of all, you're giving like your grandkid a Molotov, and then second of all, what are you gonna do with the fire extinguisher? There's just like that whole little sequence where like they talk about how he knew some guy in hell and he got this spell from where he can cast lightning and shit. Like, Also, if you haven't seen Troll 2, like, this movie sounds bonkers, and it absolutely is. It's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, anything with Grandpa Seth, especially like the lightning throwing and stuff near the end, that's awesome. I think it cracks me up every single time.
Grandpa Seth is the man.
Yes.
How about you, Mike? Favorite scene?
First of all, I just want to say, speaking of Grandpa Seth, when I started watching it, I didn't know anything about the plots of the movies. And I was like, why is everybody always so, like, you know, in all of my years, you know, it's always just been, like, Troll 2, right? Is, like, the one to watch. And I was like, why does nobody ever talk about, like, Troll 1 or Troll 3 or Troll 7 or whatever? And I was watching it and, you know, I was just like, okay, so maybe the grandpa, like, survived the first movie. So, like, the whole movie, I was, like, waiting for them to explain how, like, because usually even when it's the sequel carries on the plot, like, just in case, they'll always give callbacks or, like, have a moment of, like, exposition, you know, saying, like, oh, this happened 10 years ago or whatever, or, like, you know, 50 years ago. And there was never anything like that. I was just watching it, like, with my jaw open, like, just waiting, and it didn't happen. And then I fucking Googled it, and I was like, oh, because it's not even, like, a troll movie. It's just...
No.
And, of course, then that explained why I was like, why do they keep calling them goblins? Right? So that whole... it's so funny, like, talking about the grandpa, because all I can think about is, like, they really missed out on making Troll 1 about him, or making the next movie not his origin story.
Oh yeah,
you know
I want
mean?
like I want the Grandpa Seth like Netflix series or something.
If you did
how
the
he's
troll
this
movies
sorcerer.
now,
Yeah,
that's what it would be. You'd get your you know your movie or a miniseries or something, or you know Netflix thing, like, you know, giving him an origin story. And I actually kind of am very pissed that it took, you know, that they made it like 30 years ago or whatever, because we're never going to get that. Or maybe we will. But it won't be the same guy playing him, so...
Also, Joshua, quick, sing that song I love so much. And they all start singing
Oh my god. She's like, oh yeah, like, oh, what's that song? Anyway, sorry, I just had to throw that out there because...
Yeah.
Like, I was literally just sitting there waiting the whole movie with, like, my pen over my notepad, like... Okay, when are they gonna... where's his origin? Like, how are they gonna link it? Anyway. So my favorite scene, I was torn between two. One, when it happened, I actually wrote, like, put a star next to it. Star, favorite scene, and made a little note about it. And it was the first scene where they go into that, like, Credence's, like, witch...
Oh,
church,
the house that looks like a church.
The church house, yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I kept waiting because I was like, oh my god, like, they shapeshifted into this, like, you know, sultry girl to, like, get him to, you know, like, to lure him in or whatever. And so I thought the Credence was going to be like, oh, I'm the, you know, good witch who's going to help you, like, defeat the trolls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when her started melting, I was like, oh, she's going to turn into a troll, and she never did. But I just thought that whole scene was, like, kind of really well done. And also I was like, Credence is a fucking serve. Like, she is serving looks, she is serving horrific acting that I'm in love with.
So over the top.
It's so over the top, and I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This whole movie, I was just kind of like, ho-hum, like, just watching it, making notes, and then as soon as she came on, I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is where it gets good. This is me. This is my kind of bad movie.
You want the Credence miniseries,
right? Exactly. I want the Grandpa origin series, and I want Credence. But then my very next note was 2 stars, and I went, no, this is my favorite scene, and it was the dance scene.
Oh yeah. I
was like, yep, nope. Credence was serving it, and now this sister is serving it.
With her Garfield shirt on.
And her Garfield shirt that I'm obsessed with. I went so far as there was about 5 minutes of the movie that I didn't watch after that. Because it was playing, but I was on my phone, like, Googling, like, a way to get Garfield shirts like that. So, by the way, I found a couple. We'll see what happens. Nice. I wanted a Taurus one. But yeah, so then that happened, and I'm like, the two of them, it happens very close together. So I'll say that whole, like, movement from the...
Credence's introduction to the dance.
House to... Yeah, that little, overture was my favorite section of the movie, put it that way.
If maybe we could do some sort of mashup where we get the Trolls universe and like the Friday the 13th universe. We get her and Crispin Glover together.
Yeah.
Little dance
and,
party.
What's her face? Violet doing the robot.
Oh
in
my
Friday
God.
13th? Yeah. Okay, this needs to happen. Video editors, DM this to me on Twitter.
We gotta get Jesse.
Ready.
Gotta get Jesse from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a good dance too.
I'm now thinking of what set to like a modern song, something like hyperpop, like Charlie XCX or something, right?
Just living it. I do want to say I was really enjoying. Maybe you guys can clear it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
So Grandpa Seth.
Yes.
Is he supposed to have a body, or was he a floating head in the mirror? Because
well,
I
you
thought
could see
it was
a
just
bit of his body.
I was like,
filmed poorly. But...
Yeah, I was like, is it just filmed really bad? Because he's obviously wearing like all black.
I can't believe you would even ask that question. Like, if you're watching this and going, "Is this X or the Y? Is it film bad?" It's like that's obviously the answer.
I'm gonna blow your mind too at the end when Grandpa Seth's there and he's putting his hands on the stone and they're not on the stone whatsoever, and then he vanishes. He's not actually there either, Rowan. It was a trick.
Man, my mind is blown now. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
How did this not win like Oscars?
Well, I think the director was thinking it would. Like he's kind of like rewrote history now and believes it was always supposed to be silly, but like if you watch that documentary, it's very much like it wasn't supposed to be silly when he was making it. It's just they fell like flat on their face.
That's the like legendary it gained cult status, so now we can be like, oh yeah, we totally meant this like tongue in cheek. Like, did you?
100%.
To quote somebody very wise, sure, Dan.
Here's one of my things. So probably like the first 10 minutes, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention hard enough, but I have like no idea how any of this came about. Like, I kind of got like, we got this whole introduction to the, as we said, they're not actually trolls, they're like goblins.
Yes.
But then like the next thing, like, I don't remember them having any conversation that all of a sudden they're doing like this family swap. Like,
so what happens is like the movie, it just opens up and wastes absolutely no time. It's just like it opens and Peter starts running through the woods and Grandpa Seth is basically reading a book, like telling Joshua a bedtime story that's, scary and about goblins. So basically he kind of like intrudes in the story a couple of times as it's being told to him. And then once that little section finishes and, that banger Troll 2 soundtrack comes on as the goblins are running through after Peter, it just kind of cuts back to Joshua and he's going to bed. And I think he like asks someone if goblins are real. And that's literally just like, it's really stupid. Like the wife goes downstairs and they're like, oh, we're swapping with the other family tomorrow. Because of course that's what all families do. Just randomly swap with other families. So yeah, there's not much of a setup.
It's not even like a key party where you're like swapping spouses. It's like, here's the keys to my house, have at her. And they're like, oh yeah, we've got all the amenities. Like we have a microwave and cable and a pool. And it's like, girl, and you're just like handing off your keys and going out like in the friggin' boonies. Like, okay, understood.
I like this Mike revisioning of Troll 2 done like Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh my god, just like horny Troll 2.
Horny Troll 2 is gonna be my new nickname.
Wait. There's already enough horniness in Troll 2. You got Elliot and his boys, and they're all there all the time.
True.
And then you have...
We have Credence.
Credence, yeah. And you have, the popcorn scene, which we cannot end this review without talking about the popcorn scene.
Yes,
Because that is the most sensuous scene I think I've ever seen on film.
I don't know if I've ever shared a moment with a corn on the cob.
Oh my god, where they wedge it in between, when they wedge it in between both of them and they're like both eating it and then it's like, well, let's turn up the heat and then popcorn starts flying all over them. Oh my god, it's perfection, cinematic perfection.
I know my dirty mind, and I know for sure Mike's dirty mind went there. I'm gonna argue that isn't the most sensual scene.
Oh, all right, let's go.
Troll 2 tried to pull a quick one on us where we get a 10-second clip of these boys hanging out in their camper.
Mm-hmm.
which is another plot point that I had no idea what was going on. These guys are just randomly in a camper.
They were following Holly and her family. Come on, Rowan, keep up. Jeez.
I mean, I was just like, I obviously wasn't paying good enough attention because I'm just like, what the hell is it? Like, why are these guys in the, like, ahead of them? They're not even following them. They're like,
well, that's a funny part too, yeah, where they're just
ahead of them.
Yeah.
But so one of the scenes in the cabin, like, two of the boys are just like naked or at least half naked in bed, just like laying together and sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But like, nothing's mentioned. It's just
there's a key cutaway too. It's one of the first times when Elliot and the boys, they're like outside the RV, and it's a really weird cut. It's after Holly flips him off. Elliot turns to his closest friend, and it looks like he's gonna kiss him, but it cuts away like as soon as he turns. And like, obviously, you wouldn't notice this on first watch, but after I've seen this movie like a dozen times, there's
times.
There's a lot of homoerotic energy between Elliot and his boys. That's for sure.
Yeah, but this was one of my underlined notes.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning when he first gets introduced, she's like calling him gay.
Yeah.
Or no, he says, "You're gonna turn me gay." No,
yeah.
Are you trying to turn me into a homo when she kicks him in the nuts?
Yeah, knees him in the nuts, yeah. Because he's talking about how he has like urges that need to be relieved or whatever, yeah.
And then they're outside, like,
the window. Watching.
They're just like talking about how it's like, stop spending so much time with your boys.
Mm-hmm.
Dad thinks that you're gay and hates you. And
surprise, like, okay, Dad, I am.
Yeah.
It's such a strange plot point because she's literally like, I want you to be a loser and have no friends so I can date you. If you have friends, that's a deal breaker for me. It's so strange.
As I said, I saw a couple of those hints and I said, what a perfect moment for me to bring back Mike's favorite made-up word of homoeroticy.
Oh my god, I have that in my phone. I want to start a blog called Homoeroticy. Or like a YouTube channel or something.
It needs to be something. A Twitter account. So, I think we left off before Mike's accident with the award-winning acting of the father.
Oh my god,
yes.
Were we talking about the father? He is awesome. I love him in this movie. He auditioned just for an extra and got the main role. He's a dentist. He has no acting experience.
He's actually a dentist.
Yeah, he's actually a dentist in real life. Yeah, he's just a dentist.
Like...
No, he's just a dentist. That one scene where he talks about his hunger pains and you can't piss on hospitality and then goes into like this speech about how when he was a kid, he experienced hunger and he was hungry. Oh my god, it's magnificent. It's something.
I didn't know what to think about that scene, so I had a lot of issues. So first when he's carrying the son over his shoulder,
yeah,
and they're just like, hit him. And I was just like, boy, this is... But then, yeah, he was, like, talking about, like, whatever he talked about. Because he said something about, like, pee or piss on or something.
Yeah, he says, I'm going to tighten my belt buckle by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains. And it's like, you can't piss on hospitality is the line. You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it. He screams it at him right in his face.
So I heard the hunger pain, but I missed the part about tightening belts.
Yeah.
So all I got was him talking about piss, and like it looked like he was undoing his pants, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
Oh God.
I was just like, this is going places I don't want to go.
How did you miss the scene right before that where Grandpa Seth freezes time for 30 seconds and they're all sitting around the table, obviously moving, and then Joshua's only way he could stop them from eating the food is pissing all over it? How did you miss that scene?
Oh, I saw that scene. I guess I didn't connect. Listen, this whole movie to me,
it's a complex film. There's a lot going on.
It's a fever dream. It's a fever dream. Horror hounds. Do you guys like horror music? I like horror music. Exilia likes horror music. We know Mike definitely loves horror music. So if you love horror music like we do, join us on Spotify. We have a playlist up called the It Slays Podcast Horrific Playlist. We have some of our favorite tasty jams from some of our favorite horror movies, and we're always consistently adding to the list. and let us know. You can email us or Facebook or Instagram us and let us know if there's anything we should add to the playlist. Yeah, I was gonna say probably the time stopping is actually the most batshit crazy thing in this movie. I was just like, we're in a whole different movie. We're in like some Matrix spin-off or something.
It's hilarious.
Proto-Matrix.
I'd probably say the reveal of the double-decker bologna sandwich right at the end of the movie as like the way to defeat the goblins is pretty hilarious too.
And she's like, the cholesterol!
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, fuck my life, this is amazing.
Or maybe that the whole family just gets together and like, yeah, we're gonna hold a seance to bring Grandpa Seth back, and they just all like right away they're on board with it. In like a kids movie, or I guess maybe this isn't supposed to be a kids movie, but it feels like it a lot of the time. The movie is just bonkers. It keeps going in weird directions the entire runtime, and I love it all the more for it.
So, are we gonna silently agree that Troll 2 is possibly low-key one of the most political movies ever made?
Are you talking about vegetarianism or?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like,
yeah.
I was gonna say the propaganda in this movie was like,
I think
mind-blowingly blatant.
I think the quote from like the director's wife is like, a lot of my friends were becoming vegetarian at the time, and that pissed me off, so I wrote Troll 2. It's like a really stupid line like that. But yeah, I mean, that's literally what the movie's about, right?
Just as it went, like I said, I didn't look anything up about the movie. I wanted to go in fresh. And like, just as it went on, I kept looking at Exilia, and I was just like, is this really happen? Like, is this really what this movie's about? Like,
100%, yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing, and like all the comments throughout it about like humans that eat like hot dogs and make their bodies.
The Reverend's speech where he just lists off like various meats for like a minute long, just saying it, and the whole congregation's like shaking and groaning at it. Oh my god!
And he's like, it smells disgusting, and I was just sitting there thinking, that smells wonderful. Bacon sizzling? Are you kidding me? Yeah. You could fry bacon on a fucking sidewalk and I'd eat it.
There was so many, the scene where, I can't remember his name, but one of the teenagers, like, goes to the market to buy food, and...
Are you talking about where he just winds up with milk? The general store owner?
Oh, the chunky milk, yeah.
Yeah, just milk. I enjoyed all the townspeople. I had 2 notes on it. My first note was, this really gives me Let's Scare Jessica vibes.
Yes, when they were all standing up outside. I literally had made a note about that when all the men were standing up outside the store. I was like, this is literally Let's Scare Jessica to death, except...
Yeah.
Awful.
And 2, I don't know, perhaps some sort of, like, work for early release program for like pedophiles or something. I didn't think you could get that many pedophiles in,
oh my God.
In
poor Joshua
an area. Yeah, there was a lot of thick mustaches, a lot of big glasses.
Creepy looking dudes, yeah.
Everyone was going for that.
Was this
Jeffrey
a film
Dahmer
by
look.
The guy who did
Jeepers
What's
Creepers?
It called? Jeepers Creepers, yeah.
The general store owner, it's funny that you mentioned like institutions and whatnot. The general store owner, he's actually like a patient at a local mental hospital like at the time, and he does not remember filming the movie at all because he was too high the entire time. So like if you see his like performance where his eyes are just really big and he's like crazy and like seems like really disturbed, like he was just going through some shit at the time. So he said he doesn't remember recording like filming any of the movie. And when you watch his performance, it is just like crazy. Like I don't know, he's great too.
That is absolutely iconic.
Yeah. He's just completely blasted out of his mind.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that if I like muted the first part where you explained who that was, it could literally be a description of almost everybody in the movie.
That's true too.
You just have to guess who it is.
Yeah.
Because like him, I already said the Reverend.
The mother in the movie is really like concerning to me the entire time too. Like her eyes and the way she just holds herself. She's very disturbing.
And not just her bizarre haircut.
No, not just that.
It's like,
that adds to it.
It's the like weird giant round helmet on the top, And then, you know, it just like goes down into like this long straight. I'm just like, what's going on your head? Like, what died on there? And why won't you give it a proper burial?
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Please.
I looked up the mom, and apparently also, like many of these guys, only movie she's done. Because I don't know if you guys kind of thought of it, but I was like, man, the timing wouldn't be right for how she looks. But I really thought she kind of gave off, like, young Frances Conroy vibes.
I mean, she did kind of look like her, except Frances Conroy is a good absolutely phenomenal actress. And, well, that woman is
Come on,
alive.
Margot
or she was alive
Prey,
at the time.
she's an amazing actress. What are you going on with? I think in Best Worst Movie, they wind up visiting her because they kind of visit like all of the cast. Like it is a really good documentary to watch. They visit her, and I think she's just kind of like, you know, out of it now. Like she's just kind of diluted a little bit, and she's talking about how she's gonna get back into acting soon and stuff like that. I don't know, it's kind of sad, but it's also like, oh, you weren't really acting in the movie. Like that's just you.
Maybe she was just
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that were involved in this were probably going through things.
Yeah, the dentist, like the father, he's just like genuinely like a nice guy. Like it seems like for a lot of the movie, I guess, but also like in the documentary, he's just like, yeah, you know, I'm a dentist and people stop by every now and then because they know me from Troll 2, but you know, I go to a couple conventions every now and then. But yeah, he just seems like a nice guy.
At least he's like a good sport about it, right?
Oh yeah, no, he's all for it.
He could do all my
I have no
work.
time for people that do an awful movie that gets like a really big cult following and then don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's like
cough cough, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Cough cough.
Yeah, there's
it's
also like
take our faces off the pictures of the release. Like, okay, just get a grip and just have a sense of humor about yourself.
I just watched a movie a couple weeks ago called Urban Legend, and it stars Jared Leto, and he won't acknowledge that he was in that movie at all.
Fantastic film.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We love that series.
Okay, I've only seen the first one, and it was only a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I read at the time.
Number 3 is negligible. Number 2, you definitely need to check out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Urban Legend.
Also,
Bloody Mary.
like everybody in that is iconic. We have like Rebecca Gayheart, blah blah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it because we might end up.
We're here to discuss Troll 2. Come on.
Troll 2. You know, I will get sidetracked and just talk about all the wonderful icons in Urban Legend. So, moving on.
Stay on topic.
Moving on. The wonderful bob hair mother. Yeah, she's wonderful. The sister. Can we talk about her perm? I don't even remember her name.
Talk about
Denise, was it?
Holly in the movie.
Holly. Why did I think it was Denise? She looks like a Denise. The perm makes her look like a Denise.
Like, I like that she's just, like, pumping iron for, like, an hour, I guess, in the beginning of the movie. Just, like, every time you cut to her, she's just pumping iron. And then when
the mom comes in and, like she, like, chews out the, like, youngster, the young boy, and then walks in the room and, like, watches her daughter, like, you know, just, like Mrs. from Nightmare on Elm Street 4, like, just totally, like, going at it, right? And just, like, sweating in her, like, 80s outfit with her fucking giant perm. And then she just stands there and, like looks at her with like this love and adoration.
Smiles,
like, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like what is she even doing? Like she's just working out.
Yeah, and
in her bedroom, which is like hello.
It also has the most cuts in like any part of the movie. It's like Liam Neeson jumping over the fence and Taken. There's just like 20 different cuts. Like here's Tom Cruise, here's Johnny Depp, here's a lion sitting on the bed, here's 5 different angles of her bench pressing. It's so weird.
Well, yeah.
But I made a note about that, and it was like, again, I thought it was going to be like, you know, I kind of made the parallel with Nightmare on Elm Street 4 because everything reminds me of that. And I was like, oh, okay, so she's going to end up like, it's going to be a callback, and like her thing is going to be like, she's going to turn into like this badass like superhero because she's like really strong and like works out for like an hour and at the beginning of the movie, and it just like literally had nothing to do with her character for the rest of the movie.
I like that you guys came to this movie and were expecting a movie, like something vaguely coherent. Like the fact that you're in here like, oh yeah, trying to figure out the plot. I'm like, dude, there's no plot at all. Grandpa Seth is a magician.
I made
a sorcerer.
5 times more notes for this movie than I did for Der Bunker, which as little plot as it had and as little as it made sense. It was a movie and it had construction to it. I had like 4 lines of notes for that, but this I filled up like a bajillion lines, and I'm like trying to figure it out. I was like, this is a puzzle and I'm gonna put it together.
I literally just have 2 pages and most of them are just quotes. I don't know. I could just look down and see like anything, right? It's just, oh my god. My
favorite one is, are you trying to turn me into a homo? I started writing an essay on that. I was like, okay, there's so much wrong with that. Let me start with, first of all, the fact that like you having your like balls kicked in and not functional means you're a homo. And anyway, I was like, just in this TED Talk, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the most quotable movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing for me. It's just like that meme of I forget which kid it is, but he screams, "Oh my god!" and then like the camera just like slowly zooms in on his face as he's screaming. They're eating you, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god! Just like, oh shit! It's just so funny. Like, I don't know, like I have just a random line written down that I would love to see you get sick. You ate too much. And it's just like Holly saying to her brother in the car. It's just like literally to me, it's almost like every line of this movie is delivered in such a way that makes it funny. That like I can't do it justice here on the podcast, but it's like hilarious when I'm watching it. So yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Speaking of food, can we talk about that sandwich the cop gives the kid?
Oh my god. Just everything in this movie is just slathered with green icing for no reason.
Oh my god, yes. I'm like, so I love when they're sitting down in that family's house for their first meal.
Yeah.
And of course there's all the like weird green shit. And they've got the jug of like drink.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple. One of them is like red. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's Kool-Aid or something. Because, you know, it was like, 1990 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one is green, and I'm like, you're just drinking this fucking giant jug of green liquid. I looked at it and I went like, is this creme de menthe? Are they all getting blasted at like 3:00 in the afternoon on creme de menthe? And I just thought of like the episode of Mad Men where they fill a whole water cooler with creme de menthe and just drink out of it. And I'm like, is this family just drinking creme de menthe? And are they putting creme de menthe in all their food? And that's why it's green. And that's why nobody questions that they're eating all this green food, because they're all fucking hammered.
Honestly, the movie would make a lot more sense if that was the explanation, that they all just got drugged.
That's my theory. They're all blasted. They put creme de menthe in everything and it stains everything green, and there we go.
They just add gelatin to it and then make sandwiches out of it. I really thought, I'm like, hey, I definitely wouldn't get in this weird cop's car. But if he hands me a sandwich with green goo in a sandwich, like, just as...
Yeah, I was like, he doesn't even ask what it is.
No.
He's just like, oh yeah, sure.
No offense, I won't take a sandwich from someone I do know. I certainly won't take a sandwich from someone I don't know. And I certainly am not going to take a dripping green sandwich that looks like literally a mold sandwich from some random fucking cop out in like hoo-ha nowhere USA. Like,
yeah, like the sketchiest, like like grossest, like sweatiest cop too. Like,
yeah,
Exilia was convinced that it was pistachio pudding.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was too. Like all the time throughout the movie, there's one part where they're like, drink it up, and it's supposed to be like some sort of concoction, and it's just pudding. They're like slathering it all over the kid's face.
Yeah, it's just got this weird, like, thick,
yeah,
like, viscous consistency, and it's like, ugh.
I mean, pistachio pudding's great,
you know?
but...
Oh, yeah, pistachio anything is great.
Yeah.
I mean, we should definitely probably talk about where all the money went, which was, like, I just dubbed him as Plant Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was impressive.
Arnold, I think it might be the kid's name, but
Arnold.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just, like, one of those kids.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the main characters' names.
This was, where all the money for the special effects must have went.
Yeah, that scene and the one where Joshua in the car, like, turns into the plant a little bit, too. And like the hands start coming out of his like midsection and
that
whatnot.
like kind of dream sequence. Or
yeah. Those two sequences is where all the budget went to for sure.
I was totally on board when I just called him Glasses Kid.
Yeah.
Was turning into a plant pretty much until we see his face, and then we get the worst just like mask ever.
Yeah, so apparently, if I'm remembering this correctly, it took a really long time to get the prosthetics on him and like get him set up, and he was just standing there in this pot for like hours. So apparently he was doing so much like bitching and moaning about it, they put a facial prosthetic on him afterwards to shut him up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'd expect nothing less from this movie.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Chef's kiss. Well done, y'all. Well done.
Mr. Drake Floyd
whatever,
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, I definitely want to talk about the goblins. The goblins were epic. I enjoy that most of the time we can just see the actors like full eyes behind the mask.
Yeah.
Because they just kind of gave up once they got to the eyes. They're just like, yeah, just leave it.
Or how they're just all wearing like, it looks like potato sacks with like pillows in to give them like little bellies as they run. Oh my god.
There's so many great scenes with the goblin, especially towards, our third act, our climax, where they just started booting him down the fucking stairwell.
Yeah. Or
and it was like
Grandpa Seth comes out with the axe and just cuts his hand off. Like, oh my god.
Well, like
I looked away for a second and I was like, I got a text message or something, so I just looked down at my phone and then I heard her scream and looked up and I was like, where the fuck is her hand? And then I see the axe and I'm like, oh, okay. Jesus, like, you wouldn't think that this movie is so jam-packed with, like,
it's very
exposition
important.
that, like, looking away, I would totally, like, throw me off.
There's detail in every frame. You can't look away for a second. I'm just imagining in my head, like, you guys watching this movie, you think it's a serious movie, and you're watching the intro of the goblins running through the forest with, like, the music on in the background. You're both just there sitting there, like, stoic, like, stone face, just watching this, like, prestigious horror movie. Oh, my God.
I mean, this is the kind of film that The Witch and stuff wishes it was.
Oh my god.
That's
why I had to pick it. I was like, what? I was on for The Witch, like for my own choice. It was like The Witch and The Lighthouse. Is like, nah, Troll 2. That's my first real pick.
And what a pick it was. Like I said, when the first time he booted him down the stairs and his entire body just collapsed because it was obviously just like a pillow inside of a sack. Oh. I was just like, this is why people go to the movies. This is movie magic.
One of them gets like stuck in the doorway because they used like a similar shot of the goblins falling down the stairs like 2 or 3 times, and one of them just gets stuck in the doorway awkwardly. He goes as well, or like they're on the second floor of the house, but somehow a goblin jumps like at them from above, like above the frame at one point. It's just like, where did he come from? Oh man,
when he jumps on the dad, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, plus I was like, wouldn't they see him? Because like you can see the ceiling, because he jumped from like the stairwell ceiling, and it's pretty much up to the dad's head. So his head would have just brushed against this goblin's body. I like how I have to stop myself because I keep wanting to say troll's body, but I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's not trolls.
Listen, I'm gonna keep saying trolls because if that's the title of the movie,
as Troll,
that's my vocabulary. As
Troll 2 Virgins, was Nilbog a reveal for you guys? When it says Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards.
I will say, in a way, it was, because when they were saying it, I couldn't figure out what word they were using because it just sounded like someone was like having a stroke, or like talking back. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, I couldn't understand. It was just like word salad.
Yeah.
When they were saying it for most of the movie, and then they like showed a sign or something while I was actually looking at the screen, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what the name of the town was. They were just like, it's, and to me it sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher or something, It was
gotcha.
Like, but if at the beginning they had shown like, the actual word, I might have been able to figure it out, but I was just like, oh, I didn't know what they were saying, but now it makes sense that it was Nilbog, and that's, yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Like, it takes like 40 to 50 minutes before they do that reveal in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night when I was watching it with a couple of guys, like a couple of them haven't seen it before, but they did like the Wikipedia like plot real quick. They were like, wait, the town is called Nilbog? That's just Goblin backwards. It's so stupid. I was like, dude, you're spoiling the movie. You can't say that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, jeez. He didn't believe me it was a spoiler until like 40 to 50 minutes into the movie where there's this grand reveal, right? So
I also didn't I didn't until they
revealed it.
Revealed it. I didn't. I was just like, what a stupid name for a town. Who came up with this stupid name?
You didn't know and you didn't care.
And then they revealed it, and I was just like, of course it would be Goblin backwards. I'd expect nothing less from anything that Drake Floyd ever does.
Of course.
Which, I mean, we're definitely going to have to dedicate like a whole year just to his films.
Well, don't they do like Hooptober each year? We'll figure out which month makes the sense. Maybe Fragasso-wary or something. We'll just watch all of his movies in February. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But
I'm sure
that would probably end my life.
Yeah.
Did we want to talk about, is this movie unsettling? Which I love to ask.
No. I mean, I'd love to say it's scary, but like this, like, I think even if I watched this as a kid, I would have like cracked up for the most part. Like, there are a couple of scenes, sure, where like someone melts away, or they're like, I don't know, at the end where he looks at his
like
mom.
The one where they're eating the mom. Yeah. That was,
and her
was
breast is like
okay.
prominently placed in the shot too. That is like,
I know. I was like looking at it, and I'm like, is that a nipple?
Yeah, it is.
Because I wrote like edible moment on not edible eatable moment in my notebook during that whole. I was like, he's just running in the shower, and I was like, oh, even if I thought she was dead, I don't think at that age I would have ran in the shower.
No, like, I don't know. I've watched this with people that don't watch horror movies whatsoever, and they're just like cackling. Of course, it's prefaced with this is a terrible movie, like it's really funny, so they're in the right mindset. It's not like, hey, this is The Exorcist or something, you know? But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, let's not. The Exorcist would never reach this kind of height. So are we comfortable landing the plane on Troll 2 and getting into a rating, or did we have some more to talk about? Or?
I just wanted to say one thing, because I was obsessed with not only the dance scene, but with Jackie's, what's her name? I don't fucking know.
Holly.
Denise. Holly, yes. Why do I... Anyway, the sister, whose name is literally, even though I was obsessed with her, nebulous in my mind and like just in the ether, with her dance scene, and very much in particular with her Garfield horoscope shirt.
Yeah, whatever it was.
And my note about that, and it wasn't, I didn't write it at the time, but like a couple minutes later while I was watching it, and I was like thinking about her character and stuff, my one note was, of course she's an Aries. They had her as an Aries, and then I was like, she is a total fucking Aries. So this is the one moment in this movie when they probably just bought whatever Garfield shirt they had at Goodwill in that little town.
Oh, 100%.
And use it, or potentially they're just like, bring your own pajamas and clothes, because that's what the wardrobe of this movie.
Yeah, that's fair too.
But I was just like, whatever, you know what? This bitch was a total Aries, so I really loved that. I loved the astrological representation.
Real quick, can we talk about how the dad's like literally never has like the 5 or 6 buttons on his front like undone? Like they're always just bare chest hanging out the entire movie.
The dad was epic, and like I said, I need all my
first note was, is this Matthew Modine? I thought it was Matthew Modine for like 10 minutes. I was like, how did I never hear of this movie?
Yeah, the other
it's like low rent middle America dentist version of Matthew Modine. Who
100%.
The top 5, yeah.
The other one little note I want to mention is just when Joshua's up above with this skateboard precariously placed on the plank of wood, and he's looking down at the Reverend, and he like the skateboard slides down, and the Reverend's hand shoots up from like way down below and grabs Joshua by the face and pulls him down. Oh my god!
But
like
even though he's in the ceiling, like it's like how goddamn long is your arm?
I know, it's such a good shot. But yeah, I know we could rate it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get into rating it. If you are new to the program, as always, we'll explain. Our ratings are nay, okay, yay, and slay. I think for this one, the cutoff, you can only rate it yay or slay, I think. I'm not sure. I'm going to check the rule book.
Like anybody's going to rate it anything other than
that. So I figure we have to start out by bringing in our special guest correspondent, Exilia, making the guest appearance.
Excellent.
Yes.
Hello.
She is
Rowan's
here.
Forcing me to give it a rating. I did watch bits and pieces of it. Interesting movie.
Honestly, this is probably one of the only movies where you could get away with making a judgment on it based on watching a few minutes here and a few minutes there.
Well, at the start of it, I was like, he fucking talks so much shit about Leprechaun and he's making you watch this movie. This is like the lowest budget vegetarian Leprechaun in the world.
Oh, it's so bad, right?
Vegetarian Leprechaun. Period. Yep.
That's
what my
gonna
friends
be the name
said
of
last
my
night, too.
autobiography.
Yeah.
Can we can you go into Letterboxd and change the bio of a movie? Let's do that. Like, please, can we all go in and use our Letterboxds to collectively just call it Vegetarian Leprechaun?
They got 5 or 6
that'll be
sentences.
my first review. I've never done a review. That's what I'm gonna.
There you go.
Right
Yeah, we can just add an extra one.
I'm definitely giving it a slay for the use of pistachio pudding.
Yes.
And also not realizing that eggs are vegetarian, sorry. They couldn't eat eggs because they were vegetarian.
Oh, so strange.
I wrote that and milk. I was like, they're drinking milk, and I'm like, that's an animal byproduct.
Yeah, I guess the thing is like
just vegetarian.
Yeah, they're only vegetarian, but they drink milk. But then they say they don't eat eggs, and it just doesn't. They don't understand what being vegetarian is.
I know. I was like looking at this and going, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
What was the year this came out?
1990.
Maybe there was no I don't know, veganism and vegetarianism weren't hot on the...
Yeah, maybe.
on the stage. But yeah, no, definitely a slay for sure.
Excellent.
So the first slay in, let's go to Mike.
The first of 4.
Well, I'm gonna topple over the sleigh into a firm horsey neigh.
Oh my god. All right, this is my last episode, guys. Goodbye.
I will say I'm gonna give it a neigh because it's definitely one of the worst slogs I've ever had to get through 93 or whatever minutes of a movie ever. But do I thoroughly appreciate you for having me watch it? Absolutely. I truly am glad I watched it, even though I did not. Okay, here's the thing. So my problem was that it would have been a slay if there had been more of the serve moments of Credence and the sister dancing and stuff. But there was just too much
too many goblins. Too many goblins.
Too many goblins. There was too much. Okay, there was too much heterosexual nonsense. I think that this could have been a camp classic, but it wasn't. So therefore, it gets bumped down to an A. But I'm very glad I watched it, and I thank you for having me watch it.
For shame.
I wouldn't trade. I'm really glad I watched it, and you know what? I might even say to somebody at some point, you want to see a really bad movie? Let's have a few drinks and watch
Yeah,
this.
if you have a few drinks or, you're under the influence of something else and you watch this with a couple of friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that would have had an impact on my enjoyment of it. But I was just sitting... It was after I'd worked at 5 o'clock in the morning all day. And, I was just sitting down, having a snack and watching it in the afternoon. And it wasn't the right... context, the right
of course,
to watch it.
For sure.
I hope you weren't eating a pepperoni or bologna sandwich or whatever that was.
No, but I will tell you this. Fun fact, after I finished watching this and I went to pick up my alcohol for the night, I literally was not going to buy any groceries or anything because, For anybody, like, I don't know if they have these everywhere, but obviously here they have, the combination, like, liquor stores and...
Grocery store, yeah.
Grocery store in the same building. So I was just going to go pick up some wine, and I got there, and I was about to walk in, and I said, no, I'm going to go in the grocery store, and I literally bought a thing of pepperoni just so I could eat it. I was like, fuck you, I could think of her going, the cholesterol, and I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, Credence. And I came home and just, like, ate all this pepperoni, just, like...
Excellent.
As a,
just
like,
dunking on
middle
her.
finger to the... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, also, Mike, I think we need to create our own coded language. So, when something is heterosexual nonsense, what we say is, it's too many goblins, not enough trolls.
Oh, yep. There we go.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
That one's going in the lexicon.
Colton.
Yeah, like
this. You brought this to the table.
Yeah, come on.
How do
like,
you feel about it?
The way this movie is made, in every aspect of filmmaking, writing, acting, it's all terrible. Like, it's awful. But it kind of winds up being like, well, what do you go to the movies for? Or what do you see movies for? And the thing is like, this movie, every single time I've ever watched it, it's entertaining. I watched like 20 to 30 minutes of it by myself last night before, like, I got a couple of friends in Discord to watch it. And it was still entertaining. So, I don't know. This is an obvious slay for me. I've seen it literally probably about a dozen times. And it's always with a couple of friends, and we're always dying laughing for like 90 minutes straight. If I watched it by myself for the first time thinking it was a real horror movie, yeah, maybe I wouldn't love it so much.
Yeah,
but the fact, like...
Again, it's the context, yeah.
Yeah, it's the context that matters here. And... I just think it's so entertaining. Like, it just cracks me up. So yeah, it's an absolute slay for me.
I do. See, and to me, it's similar to, like, when we were talking about Malignant in that way. Like, I know it's an objectively bad movie. I can't wait to watch it with other
friends,
people while having a drink. You know what I mean? Like, and it's one of those that's best enjoyed in a group.
Yeah, it's just every aspect of filmmaking, absolute nay, like the harshest nay you could probably get. But it's just everything else is so damn entertaining for me that it winds up being kind of like a cult classic, like something like The Room or whatever for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I'm just assuming that Exilia was a co-conspirator to just get Colton on the podcast to just crash this whole podcast credibility. So that leaves me. I'm gonna give it an okay.
Oh my god!
I'll give it an okay.
Ruining the sleigh.
Yeah. So a nay, an okay, and two slays. I'm gonna give it an okay. I mean, obviously, all jokes aside, this movie's trash. But it's a good.
We know this. Yeah.
It's a good kind of trash, like you said. Like, to me, this might be the ultimate, like, get drunk and watch a horror movie with friends
100%,
movie. Like,
yeah.
I guarantee you within the next year I will see this at least 2 or 3 other times. Like, I really had fun with it. So
here's my question, though. Do you have the Blu-ray ordered yet?
Well, I brought up to...
Is there a Blu-ray? Because then you see all the, like, horrible...
So there's like a... There's just a cheap Blu-ray for it, and I was saying before we started recording that Scream Factory put out a Troll 1, Troll 2, but it's out of print, sadly.
Yeah.
So
it's
if
priceless.
I ever see that,
you just can't get it.
Oh wait, I knew there was a Blu-ray because you posted that in our chat.
Yeah, in the chat.
So, yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's almost offensive to have it with something inferior like what is probably Troll 1. I've never seen it.
No, it doesn't hold a candle. I can tell you. I haven't seen it, but I know. I know deep down.
I might hold off, though. I'll probably wait for, like, the 4K special edition.
Oh, my God.
4K UHD. Yeah, okay.
It'll come, like, in $100 box set or something.
You'll see the, like, way the foundation on all their faces, like, ends, like, 2 centimeters before their hairline, and...
If it came with that one mask of the troll with the big eyes and was, like, $200, I'd buy that in a heartbeat, for sure.
$1,000.
I'd buy it if it came with the mask they put on the actor's face.
Oh, yeah,
the dude. Yeah, that's a serve. That was probably one of my favorite, like, aesthetic moments. Other than the perm and all that, yeah.
Just a reminder to follow us on all of our social media at It Slays Podcast. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, soon to be on Tumblr. Of course, we're on Spotify and iTunes. And if you're adding us on iTunes, don't forget to leave us an iTunes review. It doesn't even need to be 5-star. We appreciate 5-star. But the most important part is we want to hear from you. So write us a text review in the iTunes app, and we will make sure to give you a shout out on the podcast. Every review helps as it bumps us up in the search engine, and that's what it's all about. Back to the podcast. I guess it's time to get into the budget game. So the budget game, I know how much it cost and how much it made, and then these guys are gonna guess and see if they can, figure this one out. I'll let you know right now. There's a $0 figure on what it made, because I can't find it anywhere.
Okay.
But I do have how much it cost. So I am interested to get a guess at this. And we'll start with Colton.
Man, I don't even know. I like 20 grand. I'm not sure. I don't know.
20 grand.
I'm thinking just to get all these different troll masks made would take a bit of money. And I guess there's some effects with blood and shit. I don't know. It's literally I'm just pulling a figure out of my ass. I have no clue.
How about you, Mike?
I'm gonna say $1, Bob. No, I'm kidding.
That's a good guess.
Although, frankly, I if we're doing the Price is Right rules, whereas closest without going over.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna say $1, but realistically, I'm $7,000.
All right.
At most.
7,000. Well, I mean, Colton's the closest. So it's.
But did he go over?
No.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Okay.
Estimated cost of $65,000.
Holy shit.
Ooh, my
to
God.
Make this.
Again, where did that go?
And this guy,
Is there a Getty, what's the Getty Images version of music? Because I don't feel like somebody did the music. I feel like they rated, free music library that existed in 1990. Right now, you could just go on and be public domain music on Spotify or whatever. Because, there was, the music in this was just, literally had nothing to do with the movie. It was not synced up to the scenes at all. I was they literally just took this off of some cassette and put it in the movie.
I disagree. That opening song, that's a bop. That should be on the It Slays playlist. If it's on Spotify, I'm going to take a look.
Oh my God, yes, get on it, please.
Yeah.
We got to have it. And I mean, this guy definitely has me wanting to check out, some of his other films. I saw he did Beyond Darkness, which Scream Factory actually put out. That is a Italian. They're all Italian. Yeah. He's Italian. Wow. But it was promoted as Evil Dead 5, I think.
Oh my God, all right.
And like I said, he had one called Night Killer that was promoted as Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. He had one called Robo War that it's a sci-fi horror, and I think it's supposed to be RoboCop, but the guy's literally just wearing a medieval knight suit.
Oh shit, all right.
So
giving me some
I'm
ideas
interested.
for upcoming picks. Good, nice.
Yeah. Listen, don't encourage him.
Just don't give it to him. Well, I mean, I guess all that leaves is for us to announce our next film, which, I mean, we're going to be right back in your ear. We're every week this month, we're releasing something. If you guys could see the panic in Mike's eyes over how much sleep he's going to lose because he has to record all these episodes.
I'm working weird hours now, man. It's rough.
I was going to say, I don't know if that was panic or just spiraling into depression. Oh my God, do this again.
Just getting out of that depressive spiral and getting sucked right back down.
Yeah.
So it will be a little bit different. So next up, we have Exilia's pick for the month, which is The Ring, and it's the American release one. We're not ready. We're not ready to dip our toes into the original yet.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that, but I don't think there's quite as many goblins in that one.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I'm expecting a lower rating on that for sure.
But I just make our new rating rubric how many goblins are in it. Like, that's just...
that'll be how I review
this
movies.
This movie
from
only
this
had 2 goblins.
There was one goblin in the background on someone's shirt. Yeah. 1 star.
Yeah.
One star. So yeah, I think that's everything for this episode. As you're listening to this, you will notice that we have also launched our lovely new logo by Dino Mike, and you'll be able to get shirts with that logo on it and Redbubble. So wherever you're listening to this, the link is in the description to buy all that cool stuff. Awesome. But yeah, I think that is everything for this week. I am your humble host, Rowan.
Bye, it's Mike.
And bye, it's Colton.
See you later.
We're going to expand our weekly video segment to take you into the back shelves of your local video store, back where it says horror videos, and where kids are devouring some awful films that we call the video nasties.
Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have to break free from this culture of mechanical reproductions and the thick incrustations dying on the surface.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
With the new flesh. The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, come with me and be immortal.
We have such sights to show you.
We've got to return some videotapes.